Yo, what up, YouTube? It is your boy Joe Barber back again with another video. Just want to say what's up to everybody out there. I'm usually on the run, I'm usually on the go. I usually don't have time to edit videos and make them real flashy and do all that kind of stuff. Do I have the software to do it? Absolutely, I do. But do I use it? No. Do I maximize it? No. But usually in a moment of clarity or after meditation or after prayer, I usually have something to express, something to share. And today's message has a lot to do with has to do with patience more so than anything. I know a lot of us were constantly getting fed information, boom, 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 and we want everything to happen here and now. We want things to we want to feel like a sense of accomplishment, a sense of like reaching goals and knocking out goals and stuff like that. I know, and I'm speaking for myself, but if people relate, then, great. But the sense of patience, man, towards people. And that's the thing for me. I think one of my biggest challenges is that I love people. I love my people. And, but the fact is that a lot of us we don't vibe on the same frequencies, or we don't understand the same things. Perfect example. Today I was driving, talking to my son, having a real somber morning. Like, it's raining over here. There's a lot of traffic. So one of my weaknesses is, dealing with a lot of people that are angry when they drive, or they just the laws don't apply to them. So I got to a point where I just don't even acknowledge them anymore. Like I used to point out, look at that person on the phone, look at that person, changing lanes, look at that person speeding, look at this person, look at So that used to be one of my weaknesses. And today, I was just driving, but we're on the lane that I'm in, it's a turning lane only. And there's another lane here, but this lane is you can turn, but if you turn this way, you're going to run into traffic. So it's a real confusing intersection. But everybody that drives through there, you're always on the left lane and you turn, because if you turn to the left, it's a left turn only lane. So then you have to merge into the right. So a lot of times you just turn. So people already know, if you're familiar with the area. But anyway, there was a vehicle that was next to me. And I saw them next to me, and I was like, oh man, here we go. So I just turned, and there's a marker on the street that shows that, this is where you turn and you go into this lane, because this lane is not it's a turning lane only. So if you turn, you're gonna turn directly into that lane. So you have to turn into the going straight lane. So this person is next to me, and in their mind, they're trying to force themselves in, and I'm in an excursion, man, and they're in a little Camaro, and I'm thinking in my head, bro, if I hit you, dog, your car's gonna crush easily. My car, I have these big old heavy duty ranch hand bumpers, in case I hit a deer or a pig or whatever when we're driving in the country roads. That's what they're for. But anyway, I was just wondering, man, so this person's honking at me, and I'm like, dude, you're in the wrong. But I got a chance to explain to my son that people are willing to ruin their vehicle, to get in an accident. People are willing to risk their life to prove that in their mind, they thought they were right. And it always brings up the acronym for WAR. We are right. And so then I'm like, dude, what are you doing? This lane, it goes into this lane, so you're in the wrong. So they come around and they try to cut me off. And I'm just like, dude, I'm driving and it's wet. And I'm just like, wow, bro, you're really and my truck's lifted, I got a 6-inch lift. So I'm like, if you cut me off and I hit you with my bumper, it's going to crush all your car. And I'm thinking that in my head. And I'm like, why are people so stubborn to prove that they're right? And I'm rolling my window down and I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm not even showing any distress. I'm not showing any anger. I'm not showing any of those, signals. I'm not trying to engage with that person, but I'm thinking bro, what are you doing? How is this, So I really, got to a point to where they were gonna force, and I was like, all right, then if I hit you, I hit you. Oh, well. But I know that's not the right thing to do, but you get so frustrated with people. And the thing is, I start thinking in my head, that person thinks they're right, and they're willing to lose their vehicle And then I'm in my mind thinking like, what should I do? Like, what should I do, right? Because man, I did get angry. I got worked up, but I'm still working on those things. I'm working on myself so much more than I ever have, because I want to be patient and I want to constantly put out good vibrations, good frequency, good intentions, good, thoughts, good words, good actions, all these things. I don't want to interact with negativity, man. I really don't. And it's hard. It's hard, man, because I think about a lot of things and everything intertwines, in relationships and friendships and the workplace, and, trying to achieve a higher level of thinking, trying to be an example, trying to be happy, trying to not get lost in this society, trying not to get lost on social media, like all this stuff that people want to project, this image of like, look at me and look at this, that. And it's like, we're just clones of each other. We're like, it's working for this person, so I'm going to do what they're doing to try to get the same kind of, they say, content creators, right? Where they're making a lot of money monthly because of Instagram, and which is great. I mean, that's if that's your job, that's great, man. But I hope people understand that, when you're doing that kind of stuff, you don't lose. I want you to lose yourself, like who you really are. And if you're really living your life and that's what makes you happy and that's what you think you were created to be on this earth, then by all means go hard, man, and do your thing. But I feel like a lot of people don't understand that, man. But anyway, I really want people to understand that in patience, man. Like you constantly got to work on yourself. I can't control that person. And I explained to my son, I told him, even if I pulled over and I talked to that person and explained to them, and I said, like, if we got out the vehicle and let's just say there was no traffic, and I went and pointed out, like, you see these lines, this separates, this line causes me to drive into this side of the road and yours doesn't. So it's either you wait or you have to take a right, because it's a very confusing intersection. But regardless of that, I told my son, I was like, those people they wouldn't care. And then it's like, in their mind, I don't know who they are and I don't know if they have anything to lose. I have a lot to lose, even if it was just me missing work, like missing days of work. People don't understand that. Like, I stay busy. Like, man, my schedule stays full, like 2 weeks out, maybe. Like, I want to like average like 90% of the time. Like, I stay booked up, like just back to back. Like today, I work from 11 to 5. On Mondays and Tuesdays, I only worked from 11 to 5. I was supposed to go to the bank today. I need to mail out checks and all that. And I just didn't even want to go because there's so much traffic in San Antonio, so much congestion, so much construction that it's not worth my mental health to deal with people. And so I said, you know what? I'm coming straight to the barbershop. It's probably 9 o'clock. I don't even know what time it is right now, bro. It's like, yeah, it's 9:30, and we don't open till 10, and I don't start cutting till 11. But anyways, I wanted to take time to just share this video because I want people to understand that, I know, like I said, man, I could put out so many videos about doing artwork, man. I was like sketching this thing out. I didn't even finish it. It was like, Kurt Cobain. I was, doing this a long time ago. I had some other artwork over there, man. I got markers and, all stencil sketching. I still have this one that I did of Andy Mineo that I drew with marker, pencil, and pen. He autographed it for me. And I'm telling you, man, like, there's so much. Yes, I have talent. I can draw. I mean, I have my sketchbook here somewhere. So, and here I do a lot of writing. I do a lot of drawings. It's like when I have free time, and I just come up with ideas. I share them. I write a lot of my thoughts down. I journal. And I'm telling you, like, I can do all that and I can make it highlights and do all that, man. But I stay so busy. Sometimes it's one of those things to where it becomes, it's like a blessing and a curse for me, because I see these barbers, and when I see them and I start counting how many barbers I have here that are present, that put the shop, first, and are committed to working 8 hours a day, and that are trying to add value to the barbershop. And my thing is, like, are you an asset or are you a liability to a barbershop? And a lot of barbers say, oh man, well, I'm my own business. I pay booth rent so I can come and go when I please. And no, you don't. You can't. That's not that. Whoever gave you that mindset is selling you up for failure. 100%. That's like being in a basketball team or on a football team or any sports, like, where it involves team, right? That's like you telling me that, you're on my basketball team and you're like, hey man, well, I only show up to the games. I don't need to show up to practice. I don't need to do all that, man. I don't, just give me the ball and get out the way kind of attitude. And it's like everybody else is putting in the sweat. Everybody else is trying to get the chemistry down. Everybody else is bouncing off of each other. Hey man, one game you're going to be shining. One game he's going to be shining. One game I'm going to be shining. Let's do it. And, so not one person has to carry the whole load, and we could get further together. That mentality of like, I'm my own business. No, if you want to have your own business, honestly, what you want to do, any person out there, you want to go own your own suite. Rent out your suite, and that means that it comes with no walk-ins. That means that you may have to share a restroom with the rest of the community, in the place that you're in, and you're very limited to the space. You may have a TV, you may have a shampoo bowl, whatever, which is cool, but you have to be able to sustain yourself. And if you have that same mentality of saying like, you know what, man, I'm just going to show up whenever I feel like it, I promise you're not going to be able to cover your house expenses, your day-to-day expenses, and your rent there, because it's not a part-time hustle. It's not a part-time job. It's a full-time, and then when you start doing that, to sustain yourself from what I know here in San Antonio, to lease one of those suites is like $270 a week. I charge $200 a week for booth rent here. You're available to work here 6 days a week. And I break it down on a sheet from the hours that we're open of availability. It breaks it down. You're basically paying $33 a day. You're giving me about one haircut. I mean, haircuts start off at $30 here. You know what I'm saying? So you're sacrificing one haircut a day, and that's how you cover your booth rent. You're telling me that you can't average seven haircuts per day, 6 haircuts per day, and then you got Friday and Saturday. And I'm telling you, man, we get walk-ins. The phone keeps ringing. These dudes get frustrated because people are calling the shop to get a haircut. And it bothers me because I'm like, guys, like, I don't know what y'all signed up for. Like, when you sign up to be a barber, I don't know what you signed up for. If you signed up to be a barber, you signed up to cut hair. That is your job. You signed up to cut hair every day. That's like signing up to go work as a welder and you're mad because you're welding all day. What? Like, you signed up for this job. Like, when you work at a business, if you say you work at a grocery store and you're a bagger, you're mad because you're bagging the whole day. That's what you signed up to get paid to do. It's like, playing basketball. If you're a professional athlete, you get paid to play basketball every day. Unless you're Ben Simmons and you can sit on the bench and get paid all day. But regardless, man, I'm just saying, we signed up we signed up to cut hair. And when you sign up to cut hair, you go to school to get your license to cut hair. And what happens is a lot of people sign up thinking that they're going to automatically just charge people $100 a haircut. My haircut start at $45. On average, I get paid $60 with tip and all that kind of stuff per haircut. I've been cutting hair for 20 years and my books are always full. I used to be booked out like a month ahead of time before, when I wasn't charging for my appointments. I wasn't like, you didn't have to prepay for your haircut. So my books would get booked up that far. And it was tough because then some people wouldn't show up. And then I started losing money and I started losing clientele because they're like, damn, Joe, you're always busy, bro. So I said, you know what I'm going to start doing is charging everybody up front so people don't book. Because some people would book 3 weeks in a row and it's the same person and they come, like every Monday or every Tuesday or every whatever day. And I got to a point where I was like, man, I've been doing this for a long time. I've lost a lot of time with my family. I've lost a lot of time growing myself. I don't hit the gym. I don't do all that. And I know people that are more committed to the gym part, which is great. I'm more committed to the spiritual part. That's my exercise daily. I work my mind and I work my spirit. I meditate, I read, I study, I watch videos for motivation. I watch other entrepreneurs, other businesses. What can I invest in if I get my barber school? When I get my barber school started, when I get these 3 other businesses started, what else can I invest my money into? Is what I study daily. But I'm always working on my spirituality. I'm always wondering, like, okay, what can I do to better myself? How can I be of service to other people? How can I guide the barbers that work in my shop instead of coming at them like I'm the boss? Oh, y'all listen to my rules. I don't want to do that. I don't feel like you're gonna get maximum output out of anybody when you come at them that way. But I get to a point to where I can't even interact with the barbers because my schedule is always full. I'm only off on Sundays and Wednesdays. Sundays is the day where I need to rest. Mentally, physically, and spiritually, I need to rest, man. I'm always pouring myself out into people, and I'm constantly pushing. I'm 41 years old already, man. It's not like when I was young. When I was young, I could work, 16-hour days. I can get here early. I'd be the first one here and the last one to leave, and I would make $600 in one day just doing haircuts. And that's when haircuts were like $15, $20. But I was cutting, 20 something people. I was doing designs. I was like just hustling, man. And it was great. Like I could do it. And I would skip lunch. I would just keep grinding. And, but back then everything was different, man. We weren't doing beards. We weren't doing all these, like texturized haircuts. We weren't doing a lot of shear work. Back then, a lot of times it was like a 3, a 2, a 1, all over, taper fade, ball fade. Sometimes they'll get the chin strap, and that's about it, bro. And you just keep on pushing. All right, bro. Next. And now it's not like that. People want, a more treatment, more skill, haircut. So which is cool, but with that comes more. Got to pay more. So regardless of that, man, it's imperative that we understand ourselves, that we work on ourselves. And the key word is patience, man. You got to have patience for yourself. Learn to forgive yourself. I have to do that, man. I've forgiven a lot of people for what they've done to me. And I got to a point, even, what was it, yesterday, where I had to forgive myself. Like I started the process of healing myself of, you know what, Joe, you put yourself in some bad positions. You made bad decisions and you hurt people, but you hurt yourself. It's like someone gave me a blessing. Like God gave me a blessing. And I ruined it because I made bad decisions and I wasn't aware of what was going on. Like I wasn't present of some of the decisions that I was making in my life. And it hurt people and ultimately it hurt me. And I have to accept it. And regardless of how many mistakes you make, I'm going to tell you this. This is probably the best part of the video. Regardless of how many mistakes you make, you're still loved by God. Doesn't matter. It's just like my son. My son just got, into, I had to hire a lawyer and do all this stuff. That he had got like a drink, violation, something with driving, right? So now we have to deal with that. And that's a big mistake. You know what I'm saying? It's very expensive and it's at a bad time. But he's still my son. And I'm still going to love my son. And will I be upset with him? Yes. Am I disappointed? Yes. But now comes the part where he has to learn a valuable lesson. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful that he didn't hurt anybody. I'm grateful he didn't hurt himself. It could have been a lot worse. And I started counting the blessings because I'm like, you know what? We're going to be able to take care of this. How we're going to do it, I don't know. God's going to, find a way and put the right people in our path to help us overturn this and move forward. And I feel like God brought my son back to me because he needs me. He needs me to guide him spiritually. He needs me to guide him and help him understand because he doesn't feel like he understands his purpose on being on this earth. So all the things that I share on these videos, believe me, he's going to watch them. And I always said that I make these videos, like I'm making these videos for my kids when I'm no longer here. They can still hear my voice. They can still reap the knowledge of what I understood and how I live my life. So anyway, I want to share it with y'all that God still values you, and not everybody has that kind of love. A lot of people, you do them wrong, they'll cut you off. They'll never trust you again. They just don't they don't have God's love in them. They may say that, a lot of people may say that to you, like, I love you, bro. And then the moment you make a mistake, or the moment you betray them, or the moment you do this, oh, I'm cutting you off. And it's like, damn, that's all it took for you to turn your back on me. And in their mind, they're like, no, that's all it took for you to hurt me enough that I won't recover from this. So I just don't want you around. I just can't deal with you in that way. So you have to respect that. And sometimes they don't have God's love in them. And I'm not saying that they don't love God, but it's just one of those things to where you can't expect broken people to display perfect love. And none of us can really display perfect love, but I'm saying, like, I work on forgiving people. Even that lady that cut me off, I had to make time to pray for her. You know what I'm saying? I had to make time to pray for her. And that's what I'm trying to do now. Anybody that is an aggressive driver, I'm telling you, man, I feel like I attract these people sometimes, because I get them by the bunches. And then my son, he's like, when I'm with mom, she doesn't experience all this, dad. He's like, every time I'm with you, people just want to cut you off and do crazy stuff. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's life. Like, and it's me. It's a test of my patience and my commitment. Am I ready? And I have to display that. I have to display that I'm ready for the next level. And that's why this is one of the parts where I have to forgive myself. I have to learn to have patience towards people, because when I open my school, I'm going to be dealing with all different type of personalities, all different characteristics, all different type of drama, all different type of trauma, all different type of, information, that misinformation or whatever it may be. So we're going to have patience with the students. And that's the one thing that I have to display. And I'm working on that. And even being patient with my time, being patient with my money, being patient with my ambition. Everything needs patience, because if you try to rush something, and God didn't want you to, he didn't want you to experience that way, then all you're gonna do is cause it to come back to you again. And I feel like that's why we're always in cycles, where we date the same person, and then we like, if things don't work out, you might meet another person, and it's kind of the same kind of problems that you displayed. And it's like, I get to the point to where they're not the problem. It's me. I'm the person that needs to work on myself in order for this to really get better. And I'm at that point in my life where I don't feel like I don't need a relationship. I don't feel like I need people in my life like that. Do I appreciate people? Absolutely. And do I want that kind of partnership? Absolutely. I want something that's genuine. I want something that's not forced. I want something that we can both trust, we can both grow, we can both enjoy, we can both go hard at achieving our goals. Those kind of things is what I admire the most about having a partnership and a relationship. But I don't ever want to feel like I need to be in a relationship, or I need to have somebody by my side in order for me to accomplish my purpose. And that's the thing, that you have to have patience for that as well. For your relationships or your friendships, like, you have to have patience for people in that sense too. So hopefully this video, made a difference in your life, man. And hopefully you picked up some jewels from this, because I'm telling you, man, in life, we're always going to have obstacles, and it's either you find solutions or you just come and you just get stuck. And I've overcome a lot of things in my life, man. And I've experienced a lot of great things, and I've experienced a lot of terrible things. I've caused a lot of pain, and I've been the receiver of a lot of pain. But how I deal with it, how I react to it, the power that I give it is all on me. And I hope that y'all understand that you have a choice, whether you're going to love, you're going to hate, you're going to be mad, you're going to be sad. You possess the power. No one, not your spouse, not your mom, not your dad, nobody should dictate if you're happy or sad or mad. Like, those kind of emotions, like, you have to align yourself to where you're thinking good thoughts, you're speaking good thoughts, good words, you're acting out good actions. Align yourself in that way, man, and don't react to situations based on your emotions. Always keep yourself aligned, because if your mind is always constantly having bad thoughts, you're always angry, or you want to hurt people, or you want people to feel, your vengeance, or all these things, man, you're not aligned with that. When your heart is not aligned and you're not displaying, like for me, I love animals, and I love to help animals because I don't know. I just do. I don't have like a great answer for that. But I love dogs. I love pit bulls, and I love to help pit bulls. And any dog, any cat, squirrels. Like I don't care. They're part of nature. I even ants. I hate killing ants. But the ants got in my house, and I was like, damn, I hate having to kill them, but I had to spray them because my son had left something out. But anyways, I get to that point, man. It doesn't mean that you have to get to that extreme, but for me, I'm at that point where I'm just like, you know what, man. Someone's pulling up. I get to that point where I try to show love to animals. I try to show love to insects. As long as they're not hurting me, I just release them back into nature. And I try to, even spiders. I don't like spiders. I don't like snakes and stuff. But I'm trying not to kill them unless they become a threat. And I understand that now. But just align yourself, man. Just align yourself and think good thoughts. Don't talk bad about people. Don't engage in those kind of things, man. Try to avoid that stuff and try to be of clear mind. Don't get addicted to anything specific, man. Whether it's social media, whether it's drugs, whether it's anything. Like, work on yourself, man. And I promise you that you'll get the results that you want out of life. And I'm not saying life's gonna be easy, man, because life is never easy. But you have to learn to enjoy the ride, and it's about the journey. It's not about getting there and you're like, oh hell yeah, man, I'm here. Because I promise you, man, every time you level up, there's always more obstacles that you're gonna have to deal with. Sometimes they're repeating obstacles that you've experienced before, but you know how to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing with me. I've had to restart my life a lot of times to where I go back to square one, but I come back with experience. And now, even starting this school, it's been a bit of a difficulty here and there, and people say, oh, I'll help you, Joe. I'll help you, Joe. And then they don't follow through because they have obstacles in their life. So I don't hold it against them, but it is difficult, man. And some people do have a good heart, but they have a lot of obligation as well. And there's only so many hours in a day and so many people you can help. So I understand that. And I'm grateful, though. I'm grateful to have good people around me. And I feel like because I do keep myself aligned and I keep myself accountable, a lot of good things do happen, but bad things do happen as well. And I got to just deal with them. And I accept them for what they are. I try not to allow my frustration, my disappointment, and my own personal life. And that's the crazy thing about my life, right? Like, I go through a lot of hardships, mentally, physically, whatever. And I can't even grieve over them because I feel like I have to be here at this barbershop every day. I feel like I'm the biggest slave in the shop, straight up. Because nobody takes care of the shop the way I do. Nobody thinks the way I do. Nobody processes things the way I do. Nobody puts themselves in the customer's position like I do. Nobody sees the shop as like this place where we feed all these families. People don't see like, you know what, man, I have to market myself. It's my job to fill my chair. It's not the shop's job to make sure that I'm busy. But a lot of barbers think that, man. They think like, well, I'm here. Where are all the customers? Oh, nobody's here. All right, I'm going home. And I'm like, dude, ultimately you're hurting yourself. But when you do that, you're not adding value to the barbershop. You're just another person trying to latch on and say, okay, well, take me there and take me to the money. I'm like, man, you need to get your mind right. But all right, brothers and sisters, I hope y'all got a lot of gems from this message. And I hope y'all have a great day. And I hope y'all understand, man, that y'all have so much more value, regardless of what happened yesterday or the week before, the year before. Learn to forgive yourself, man. Ask God to forgive you. Align yourself and do what's right, man, to reach your goals. You have a purpose. Just find out what it is and go hard. And no matter what comes your way, man, God has He has the best intentions for us. But sometimes it's not a beautiful path that where he puts us through. You got to go through the maze, man. And I'm telling you, sometimes you're going to see some great things. Sometimes you're going to see some awful things. But without the awful things, it wouldn't make this great. It's the yin and the yang, man. There has to be bad in order for you to value the good. If it was sunny every day, man, you wouldn't appreciate the sun because it's normal. But when the thunderstorms come and the rain comes, it's like, oh man, look how crazy it gets. Look at, how driving gets. Look at how things are. And then when the sun comes back out, you're like, oh man, look, it's beautiful again. So you got to have the bad with the good. And that's what makes everything beautiful, the collective. So, all right, man. Well, y'all stay blessed and y'all stay faded.